Silence After the Scream Setting, Atlanta, Georgia, 2023. Genre: legal drama / social justice. Length: long-form short story PART. The incident 12-year-old Malik Dorsey never imagined that a simple science project could change his life. He was a quiet, curious kid with a mind like an inventor's blueprint. He didn't speak unless he had something to say. He didn't fight back unless cornered. And on the day he turned in his science fair project, a meticulously detailed solar-powered water purifier, he expected nothing more than a B+ and a quiet bus ride home. Instead, he got a suspension, according to Miss Callahan, his 7th grade teacher. Malik had cheated and couldn't possibly understand the concepts he claimed to. She told the school board he was defiant, manipulative, and made her feel unsafe when his mother, Tiana Dorsey, showed up demanding answers. The principal wouldn't look her in. The Malik's suspension was upheld. His record was flagged. His future, once pointed toward scholarships and science fairs, suddenly twisted into something more dangerous: a stereotype. That's when Ava Carter stepped in. PART. The lawyer Ava Carter was not what most of suburban Atlanta expected when they heard Harvard-educated civil rights attorney. She was a 5'6" storm in stilettos, with locks wrapped in silk and a voice that could cut like glass or comfort like gospel. She had made headlines once years ago when she overturned a wrongful conviction in a Stand Your Ground case in South Carolina. But since then, she had kept a lower profile. Raised in Atlanta, she'd returned to build her own practice in the South Side. Defending those most often silenced, Tiana came to her office with Malik's notebooks, a USB drive, and a tired heart. "He's just a kid," she said. "He built that thing himself. Hell, I barely understood it." Ava reviewed the materials, raised an eyebrow at the schematics, and smiled. "That's not just a project. That's a prototype." PART. The courtroom. By the time the case reached court, a rare civil action against the school district for racial discrimination, Malik had become a symbol. The case was about much more than a science fair. Ava framed it as the criminalization of black brilliance. She called Malik to testify. Nervous at first, he slowly found his rhythm, explaining his design. Quoting physics formulas like lines of poetry, then came ends. Callahan, her anger was simmering beneath the surface. She wore her indignation like perfume. Ava approached her gently, with an unmistakable rhythm of patience and precision. "You stated Malik's project was too advanced for a 7th grader. Did you ever ask him to explain it?" "No, I knew he didn't do it." "You knew, or you assumed I know these kids?" "They lie. They cheat, these kids?" Ava echoed, her voice suddenly sharp. "You mean black boys?" The room went silent. Miss Callahan hesitated, then doubled down. "I don't care what you think I meant. That boy's dangerous. His eyes, he stares like a predator." A gasp rose from the gallery. Ava didn't flinch. "No further questions," she said, then turned and walked back to her seat, her heels echoing like gavel strikes on tile. PART. The verdict. The courtroom was full on the day of the ruling. The judge, an older black woman with silver hair and tired eyes, read the decision that court finds that Malik Dorsey was unfairly suspended on the basis of racial bias, and that Miss Callahan's conduct was not only discriminatory, but contributed to emotional trauma for the child. The court awards damages and orders the removal of the disciplinary record. As the last words left the judge's mouth, Miss Callahan, rigid, red-faced, let out a scream. It wasn't a cry of disbelief. It was something rawer, a sound pulled from the depths of entitlement, unseated. It echoed through the chamber, but no one spoke. Ava turned to Malik, who was clutching his mother's hand. He looked confused, as if he didn't understand the power of what had just happened. Ava knelt to his level and said, "They tried to take your voice, But you just made the whole world listen. PARTV aftermath, the media frenzy came and went. Miss Callahan resigned quietly. The school board issued an apology. But Ava didn't care. She wasn't after apologies, she was after precedent. Malik went on to win the state science fair that spring. He stood on stage in a suit 2 sizes too big, thanking his mother, his lawyer, and the judges who finally saw him. Ava Carter returned to her office on the south side, poured herself a glass of sweet tea, and stared out the window. In her office hung a single photo, her younger self in a courtroom, beside a different boy, in a different time, another case. Another scream. Another silence after, but always, always another victory. The in deep.